Who's it? See him off. See him off. Who's that? See him off. See ya. Hey guys, oh dear, right, it's a rainy Sunday morning, or is it afternoon, I don't know. Haven't been able to get out and get some material for the frames I'm doing, so getting pretty bored sat down the house, so I think I'm going to do a good job on the turbo bike. Yay! I can hear you all saying, yeah, at last. Yeah, I think the last job I'd done on that was the under tray, which I haven't finished yet. So I may as well do that. There's still a bit of shaping to do for it to fit around the little side panels I made. And if I remember right, I'd just done a bracket that bolts up with the tank. I'll have to pull it out, refresh and get cracking. But first job, get the important job done first. Why isn't that coming out? Huh? Why is my, there we go. Oh, that's better. Anyone for tea? That'll do. Get the important job on the go first. And then I'll go have a bit of a shift round in this damn shed. I might have to chuck some bikes outside in the rain. Yeah. This shed, for those who have been here, will know it's not as big as it looks on this damn camera. And it is a bit of a squeeze sometimes, so I'm going to have a shift around. It'd be lovely to have a shed that's big enough where all your bikes are in line that you're working on, and that's where they stay, so you can just jump on them as and when. But I have to have a big shift round, pulling stuff out that I want to work on, putting stuff away I'm not working on, stuff that's movable, throw it outside. So I'm going to have to do that first. So we've got the Enfield sat there. I think that'll go outside for now, for the day. We'll shove the turbo bike down here. Turbo bike is, can you see that? Yeah, turbo bike stuffed in the corner there, trapped in with the Enfield. And let's step over this cable. Mr. Honda's shoved down here. So yeah, I think we'll get Honda, Enfield outside for now and drag that out. There's half hour's work. Anyway, we'll crack on with that. Right, we'll have a recap on that then. We've got everything out. Get the most important job done first. And we'll have a look around that scabby old bike because it's been stuck in the corner for I don't know how long. It's looking a bit rusty, dusty, dirty, neglected. You name it. It looks a mess. So we'll have a look around it, have a recap where we are and get on with it. And I think what we'll try and do, at least for all the other jobs that I've got to do, is I can't keep filming bloody building hardtail frames. Jesus Christ, that'll send me to sleep. So I think we should at least once a week is do little jobs on the turbo bike. Any little jobs and just start ticking them off the list. I think that's a plan, do you? Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look around the old snot bag. On the last video for it, we was doing the under tray. And just trying to make it as simple as possible. But obviously it's there to do a job because we're gonna, in there we're gonna probably be hiding a few different bits and bobs like the battery, like a motor gadget unit for all the electrics. So we want to keep that nice and sealed and the weather from getting in there and perhaps destroying everything. But this side that's been up against the wall for I don't know how long is looking a bit of a mess. Oh, she does look unloved, don't she? It's only a bit of dirt. Rusty tank. People pay for that finish. Was it rat, calf, rod, whatever you call it? Yeah. Bodge it and make it look rubbish. Someone will like it. No, that's not happening. Oh, we done the side mount number plate, didn't we? We done all this little recess in there just to make it look a bit more interesting. So, and as I think I said in the last video, not legal at all, but we're not building it for that, are we? It's a stupid bike anyway. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying stupid in a bad way. It's just, it's not being built for Mr. Law-abiding citizen, Mr. Goody Goody. So I think, yeah, first job, stop rabbiting on Fat Boy. I'm going to do these side panels. Which side's that? We'll go for this side first. We'll at least get one side done, eh? Then we've got sort of these bits that are hanging down in the middle of nowhere. And we want them let's take that bloody thing off, make it easier. See, I can't bolt that up at the minute because that bit hanging down's in the way. So we've got to get that to go back up to there. Oh, it does a bit. But, oh, why's the light gone out? Come on, don't mess me about. There we go. So we've got to fashion, whatever you want to call it, beat this into shape to be up behind this little side panel that we've done. So we'll try and get that done today. At least one side anyway. So I think to do that, we need to do some marking out, some rough marks. And start doing a bit of shaping. But it's not going to be tricky, but it's going to be a careful job because we want to do the shaping so it's not destroying all this shape here. So literally all this here is got to come up. We need to do it so it still stays in line with all the panel here. Still stays in line with all the panel there. Then follows the line of the little side panel. Being careful, like I say, that we don't damage all of that. I don't know if I filmed the bracket there. That's getting a little bit rusty. Anyway, let's see what we can do. Bear with my snivels and coughs. So, that is got to start sort of happening from where it joins, I think. We literally got to come up with a thickness of the return I've got on it. The return's a bit battered, but obviously we didn't get around to doing that. There's nothing worse. I don't like seeing stuff just for the sake of a bit of patience and time. There's nothing worse seeing seat units that just don't fit. It's like it literally has been taken off another bite and just shoved on. That'll do. We want all this to look like it's all, everything on it, it's all fitting nicely with each other. So that literally has got to come up, and I think that lip has got to change to go in even more. So there's going to be a bit of on and off, on and off, on and off with this and the under tray, I think. I'm going to draw around that actually. In there. Let's just get you a close up so we can see what I mean. See, we've got to shut this off, and it's also sticking out too far this way. So it's good. We've got to move it around a fair bit to tuck up into there nicely. Anyway. Muzzle and bolt it all, get it on the bench and slowly mess it about, hammer it up and see where we're going. Rightio. So what we got, if I remember right, I got all this fitting this panel quite nicely. As you can see. So now then, I'll say you put a little mark here. We're going to try and sort of get that fold over to here. Then this whole side piece kicking up. Clamp that like so. And then bring that over to that. I think we might be heading in the right direction. Obviously the lip's going to grow sort of up this way, then we'll trim it back off. I haven't burnt myself for a while. Surely I'm about due. You can probably guess that was a regular thing in my old job. Silly as it sounds, you actually got used to being burnt. Still wasn't pleasant though. Let's give that a bit of a tap, see what happens. And when you think it's stopping moving with a wooden mallet, you know, try and use the normal hammer without bruising the hell out of it. It's a bit fiddly doing these bits. Right. So that's brought it in quite a bit. You should see the difference from this side to that. I know it looks a bit battered still, but we'll attend to that. I think we'll attend to that in the vise. Get that straight. And in a minute it's trying to curl over. And it's going to be a case of putting it back on the bike, I think, seeing how we've gone with it. I know that way is going to be about there, but then we've got to get it brought up that way. So without damaging that shape there. Excuse me. Again, I'm being careful not to create too much bruising on the surface. It's hard to explain, but if you're using the hammer right, you're actually constantly dressing the surface as well, so you just don't get any big hammer welts. You know, if you're going to hit your hammer on the edge like that, you're going to naff all the surface up. You've got to make sure you've constantly got this thing flat. I'm going to attempt bringing it up as well while I've got it off the bike. Just have a little wild guess at it. Shall I? I think I might, you know. All right, let's give this a go. So I've cut this bit of material here. It's slightly thicker than what we've got the under tray made out of. So I'm going to clamp that there. So I want to sort of get a crease going across there. Try and keep it nice and neat. And we'll do the same the other side. So I'm just going to try and simply, he says, clamp that there and crease that up. And keep an eye on this return here, so we ain't buckling all that out of shape. Like I say, this is holding no weight or nothing. It's not structural. It's just there to do a job. It's sort of like a splash guard, I would say, to keep everything that I'm going to put in the tower unit clean. So I'm just, this is going to look so basic. So what I want to do I've got this, can we see this? Is we've got to go up about the thickness of this return here. So we'll run a flat off there till we've got that. God. Need 4 hands. Yeah, so we'll use that as a guide and that as a guide. So we end up with that as a gap from the roll to the bottom of this when we've bent it up. This, and hold that across the line. See, we're getting a crease there, but we'll be able to tap that back in. When we've tapping that back in, this will try and creep back down. But if we keep tapping it in, bringing it up if need be, we'll get rid of that and this will remain in the right place. So we'll bring it up again. Keeping an eye on this also, which is brilliant. It's staying in shape. And we'll stretch it and shrink it around so it stays where we want it. It seems a bit of a very basic way of doing this. Oh, I've got a dog here. You come to help? Eh? You come to help? Or you going back in your chair, you lazy git? What you doing? We'll go overboard a bit there and then tap her in again. And look, see where all that's going. I think that's more than enough. It's going to be very easy to bring it back down if we need to. So just use that damn thing. We might have to go a bit more. I think at this point we'll put it back on the bike, and if we need to we can sort of fine tune it and manipulate it a bit more if we have to. It's not had any effect on that shape there, which is brilliant. I don't know if you can see that. We're getting a nice uniform crease along there, so it doesn't look like just a battered piece of metal. Let me get a bit of emery cloth or scotch in, you'll see that line. You can just see a nice neat line appearing, look, which obviously when this is painted, powder coated or whatever, that's what we'll see, and not a load of buckling. So I think it's hard to keep in camera shot. I could do a mirror behind the camera so I can see what I'm doing. Right, if that's all bolted up where it should be, because this is going to be on a little sort of bracket out from the frame, as well as bolted to the two panels bolted together. It'll also bolt into sort of a bracket coming from the frame, like I say, so it'll hold it there perfectly still. But as you can see, this line, we are getting somewhere close to spot on. And I don't know if you can make out that crease, we've kept that nice, and it sort of just disappears into here, and we haven't damaged this. I'm happy with that. Then next we'll do this little nick here, we'll fill that in, and we'll fill these in here, so we don't want them on show like that. Okay, what we'll do now, we know that's about there, because we've returned this further in, I'm going to trim this lip down now so it sort of continues the same as this one down here. Yeah, so we just take that off. Take that off first, and then we can just dress any marks out of this face. This is fairly worn, so I'm going to keep the worn one in, because then we'll dress that face up as well. Well, this is a luxury, isn't it? Turn the heater off for a bit. Oh, that'll be all right around there for now. I need to shorten this cable. Look at that. All posh. Oh, another bit of... It's hard to see what you guys can see on this camera, it really is. There's a slight difference in the curve there, just here to there. I like to try and get all these bits right, because when stuff is painted or powder coated, it really amplifies all these sort of differences. So we'll get that right now. Right, that's made it better. More of a uniform fold there now. Okay, I think we'll get it back on the bike and see how it looks. No, I'll tell you what, I think what we'll do now is get these little corners dressed in. They definitely need doing. That one's got a bit of a split there, which we'll sort out. Right, let's figure a way of doing that nice and neat. As you can see, literally we're just getting the radius back in. So we can see less of a gaping hole there. So all I'm going to do with that, it's a bit small to be cutting a tiny piece of metal and trying to hold it in there and weld in. We don't want a great big blobber weld in the corner that we've all got dressing on the inside as well. So we'll sacrifice a bit of a brass fitting. I've got absolutely no use for this whatsoever. It's been sat in the drawer for years. So what we'll do is drop it on the floor and lose it. Okay, got it. So what we'll do is get this brass fitting. I'm trying to stay in camera shot here. I've ground it to the shape of this corner, I think. So we'll weld that bottom part back in. The brass, it will attach itself to it slightly, but not completely, obviously. But the brass will stop the weld spewing all on the inside, and it should allow me to put that edge back in. Let's give it a try. And I will be just blobbing it in. So yeah, when you hit the back brass, it'll sound quite nasty. So it'll look a mess to start with. I think that's got it. Ooh, this fell straight out. As you can see, where we've had the brass sitting, it's kept, as you can see that, it's stopped the weld bleeding through. And we've got enough on the outside there to dress back. And you won't really know it's been done. Let's give that a look. There we go, that fits around that now. Right, DA that a bit. You can see that. Just drop it back in here. And that little nick we've put in there now should go round this part of the tail unit. Job done. Just the other side to do then. If we look at the other side, you'll see it's a lot better fit now. So we'll get on with that side next. And we'll get it looking like that. There you go, we'll weld across there. This is also good, a good idea. If you've got holes to weld up, I mean, I've even used pennies. Copper's just the same, brass, copper, whatever. If let's say you wanted to weld one of these holes up, you just put a penny behind there, or a bit of brass, or a bit of copper, and just weld the hole up. It stops all the welds from spewing through. Weld it up, dress it back, and if you've done it right, you don't even know there was an hole there. Dress the pigeon poo. You see, it looks like you've actually welded the brass to it, but sure, that's not the case. There we go. Again, it leaves you with a neat finish on the inside. Right, see how she fits. That's better. Ain't got them great big gaping holes now. Oh, I think we'll put all that back on. Right. That is that under tray nearly done. We've just got to obviously shape this side up. But we'll see how we are so far. Why do I keep struggling with this? There we go. That's it. Oh, it looks better without them big holes there, doesn't it? Oh, let's just nip this up for now. Oh, I've got a cramp. Ow. Getting old. Oh. Just going to put a little nut and bolt through that for now, loosely. There's still quite a lot to do, but it's taking shape. Yeah. Obviously, we've got this hole here to join these two together, and also, as that bolts in here, I should put a bracket across to here that it also bolts to. So that'll keep that bit quite strong. Then obviously I've got to do all the mounting points for the seat pan and put a strengthening strip up the back of the seat pan. So when my fat ass is on it, the seat pan's not pressing against none of this at all. It's all on the frame and just on the frame alone. See, what I've got to do as well, that's loads better. There'd be still probably little tiny bits I've got to trim here and there. But also, when I've got all the, see, I've allowed quite a lot of playing around there. When I've got all the strengtheners in the seat, make sure you can see, I will then get this seat covered to how I want it. Then we'll fit it back on and then see if we've got to trim anything away for the seat to fit really nice when it's covered. It's no point in getting everything perfect with just the seat pan, because obviously you're going to have the material where it's wrapped round. You've got to allow for all the thickness of that. You can't see it, but obviously I've allowed, there's quite a bit of play in it to allow for some of that. But it's best that we do all the fine tuning on it when the seat's covered. Well, I'll say I can't do that till all the strengtheners are in and all the little feet are on the seat, so that all that pan's sitting on the frame and none of the tail unit. Now we can get everything, it's like this gap here. That all can be sorted when the seat's covered. So it is a really nice line round everything. It all fits really nice. We ain't got massive gaps anywhere. But I think, obviously, when that little piece is in there, it's going to hold everything. I think that's not bad. Yeah, it's certainly taking shape now. Everything's starting to fit. And we've not got them great big gaping holes in the corners no more. I'll say that little trick with the brass, you can do that on anything. If you need to do a little repair or anything, you put brass behind it. Your weld's not going to stick to it, but it'll stop the weld pouring into anywhere, especially if you really don't want to damage something that you've welded in. The brass or copper or anything like that, or a penny. If you can afford a penny, if you can afford to destroy a penny, will stop any damage like that happening. I think it's starting to take shape. Anyway, I'm going to have a cup of tea and then give it a coat of looking at. Anyway, cup of tea sorted. I think that's enough for today. I'm quite happy with that. I'm getting a good line on everything now. Still a tiny bit of fine tuning here and there, but some of it can't be done, like I said, till the seat's covered. So with the cover, we know where to dress up and everything. But before that, I've got to get all the strengtheners under the seat and the mounting points. I'm going to try and do everything as hidden as possible. We've got these corners all blocked in now, so we ain't got that horrible big gap there. We'll do all the mounting points for this side panel properly, so everything's held, so this is nice and even all the way down. And obviously this under tray will probably be painted the same colour as the bike. We've got all these gaps here to attend to. Let's have a look. All these gaps here will be attended to when it's covered. So it's pointless in doing them now without the cover on, because it'll all change, and now, you know, if I dress them all up now, we'll end up in a bit of a mess when the cover's on, because it'll all change. But I think that's a good couple of hours work done. So we got the other side, we got this part of the panel on the other side to put right. That's all got to be put into shape like this side. And then the mounting points for the seat. And that's the tail unit more or less done then. Apart from any sort of brackets that I've got to do inside, or trays for the battery and everything else that we're going to try and squeeze into here out of sight. But yeah, it's starting to come together that little bit more. I'll say it'll still look a bit rough and ready at the moment, but it'll take shape each little bit we do. And like I say, I'm going to try and do a bit on this each week now, I think. Even if it's for an hour or 2 hours or whatever, or in the evenings, in between all the work I've got to carry on with and catch up with. we'll try and do a little bit to this. Obviously we've still got the orange, but I've had a few people ask me about the orange Enfield. I'm still waiting for paintwork on that. I did tell Alex there weren't no great rush, but yeah, it'd be nice if we get it back now and get that finalised, get it gone, get all them frames done, and then we can get on with the 350 and this. I say I'm doing a couple of Enfields just to sort the finances out a tiny bit. And then we got the Ural. Loads of people asking about that. Yes, it's still going on. We're still going to do it, but I want to be able to 100% focus on that when I start it. So that means building up a bit of a financial barrier so we can get on with it, because that's going to take a bit of time, because it's, with it being a fresh build, there's a lot of thinking time to do on that to get it to how I want it. And whatever other little jobs we get in between, we'll film them as well. So hopefully we're getting back on track now, touch wood, and we'll get some interesting videos out there for you. Anyway, I think that'll do today, guys. Thank you for watching and take care. Cheers.